The enemy knew exactly where the SEALs would be every single time. Perfect ambushes, coordinated attacks. Captain Wilson was searching for whoever was leaking information when she faced the worst possible truth. The traitor was wearing the same uniform. Welcome to Hidden Story, where we uncover the extraordinary lives hiding in plain sight. Before we dive into this incredible story of military investigation and shocking betrayal, tell us in the comments, have you ever discovered that someone you trusted was working against you? And if you believe stories like these deserve to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us ensure they're never forgotten. Major Alexandra Cipher Kane, 32, sat in her secure office at Joint Special Operations Command Headquarters at 0247 hours, surrounded by classified files that painted a picture of systematic betrayal. Her auburn hair was pulled back in a regulation bun, her green eyes scanning casualty reports that made her stomach turn. As the military's premier counterintelligence specialist, she'd investigated security breaches across multiple theaters of operation, but nothing had prepared her for this. SEAL Team Delta had lost 7 men in 5 weeks, each mission ending in perfectly coordinated enemy ambushes that suggested someone was feeding their operational plans directly to hostile forces. The pattern was too consistent to be coincidence, too precise to be luck, and too devastating to ignore any longer. The latest casualty report sat open on her desk. Petty Officer Second Class Anthony Razor Chen, age 26, killed in action during what should have been a routine intelligence gathering mission. He was the 7th SEAL to die in 5 weeks, and the 15th to fall in the past 3 months. Each death represented not just a tactical failure, but a fundamental breach of the trust that held special operations units together. Alexandra pulled up the operational summaries on her secure terminal. Operation Ghostwire, SEAL Team Delta, tasked with eliminating a high-value terrorist target. They'd arrived to find the compound abandoned except for explosives positioned exactly where the team would make their entry. 3 dead, 2 critically wounded. Operation Nighthawk, a hostage rescue mission that turned into a slaughter when enemy forces were waiting in the precise positions needed to trap the SEAL team in a kill zone. 2 more dead, the hostages executed before the team could reach them. Operation Steel Curtain, a reconnaissance mission that resulted in a running firefight when the team encountered enemies pre-positioned along their planned extraction route. 2 additional casualties, mission compromised before it began. Each operation had been planned using different intelligence sources, different communication channels, and different security protocols. The only common factor was SEAL Team Delta itself. Someone within the 12-man unit was systematically betraying his teammates to enemy forces. Alexandra began her investigation by examining communication intercepts. The National Security Agency provided months of electronic surveillance data, phone calls, emails, text messages, and internet activity for every member of Team Delta. She spent sleepless nights analyzing patterns, looking for any indication of unauthorized contact with hostile forces. Initially, nothing appeared suspicious. The SEAL communications were exactly what she'd expect from elite military personnel. Contact with family members, routine administrative correspondence, and the casual interactions that marked close-knit units. Next, she investigated financial records. Foreign intelligence services often recruited assets through monetary incentives, and large or unexplained transactions could indicate payments from enemy sources. Again, the results seemed clean. Every team member's financial activities were consistent with their pay grades and personal circumstances. But Alexandra had been trained to look beyond surface appearances. She began examining the timing of communications relative to mission planning cycles, searching for patterns that might not be obvious in individual messages, but could become clear when viewed across multiple operations. That's when she found it. Buried in routine family correspondence was a series of emails that caught her attention. Petty Officer First Class Marcus Ghost Sullivan had been sending regular messages to his younger brother at college. The messages appeared innocent, casual updates about military life, discussions of weekend plans, and brotherly advice about academics. But the timing was suspicious. Sullivan sent emails to his brother within hours of receiving classified mission briefings, and the content, when analyzed with knowledge of upcoming operations, contained disturbing parallels. Alexandra studied Sullivan's latest email, sent 3 days before the failed Operation Steel Curtain. "Hey, little brother, hope your studies are going well. We're planning another training exercise this weekend. Weather forecast shows clear skies, so we should have good visibility for the night navigation portion. We'll be working on urban reconnaissance techniques near that industrial complex I mentioned before. The one with the old warehouse district on the east side. Should be challenging but educational. Stay focused on your classes. Love, Marcus." On the surface, it was exactly what it appeared to be. An older brother sharing general information about military training with his college-age sibling. But Alexandra cross-referenced the email timestamp with the mission planning timeline. Sullivan had sent this message exactly 4 hours after the final operational briefing for Steel Curtain. The training exercise had been Operation Steel Curtain. The industrial complex was the target area. The East Side Warehouse District was the planned extraction zone where enemy forces had been waiting to ambush the team. Alexandra felt her hands shake as the implications became clear. She quickly pulled up Sullivan's previous emails, analyzing them with this new understanding. What she found made her question everything she thought she knew about military loyalty. Sullivan had been sending similar coded messages before every compromised operation. The language was always casual, always seemingly innocent, but when examined with knowledge of actual mission parameters, the intelligence being transmitted was devastating in its completeness. Before Operation Ghostwire, Sullivan had emailed about a camping trip near the old stone bridge. The target compound was located near a distinctive stone bridge visible in satellite imagery. Before Operation Nighthawk, he'd mentioned a fishing expedition at dawn near the marina. The hostage rescue had been scheduled for dawn at a riverside facility that served as an improvised marina for local smugglers. The pattern was undeniable, but Alexandra needed more evidence before making accusations that would destroy a SEAL's career and potentially compromise ongoing operations. She initiated discreet surveillance of Sullivan's activities, monitoring his communications in real time, using her counterintelligence authority. What she discovered over the following weeks confirmed her worst fears and revealed the sophisticated nature of Sullivan's betrayal. Sullivan wasn't just sending coded emails. He was using advanced steganography techniques, hiding encrypted data within innocent-looking digital photographs. The family photos he regularly sent to his brother contained detailed operational intelligence embedded in the image pixels, target locations, approach routes, timing, personnel assignments, and tactical plans. To anyone examining the emails casually, they appeared to be normal family correspondence. Pictures of Sullivan with teammates, images of base facilities, routine snapshots that any serviceman might share with family. But when Alexandra used specialized software to extract the hidden data, she found comprehensive intelligence packages that provided enemy forces with everything needed to kill American Special Operations personnel. The scope of Sullivan's betrayal was staggering. He'd been providing classified information for over 18 months, directly causing the deaths of at least 23 American servicemen and compromising dozens of classified operations across multiple theaters. But Alexandra faced a strategic dilemma. If she reported her findings immediately, Sullivan would be arrested and the intelligence leak would stop. However, she'd also lose the opportunity to use his communications channel to feed false information to enemy forces, potentially turning the betrayal into a weapon against hostile operations. More critically, she needed to understand the full scope of the espionage network. Was Sullivan working alone, or was he part of a larger operation? Who was receiving his intelligence, and how were they coordinating attacks against American forces? Alexandra made the decision to continue monitoring Sullivan while developing a plan to neutralize the threat in a way that would provide maximum strategic advantage. Working with SEAL Team Delta's commanding officer, Commander Jackson Steele Morrison, she began creating false operational plans designed to expose enemy capabilities while protecting American personnel. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. If Sullivan continued transmitting intelligence about fictional operations, enemy forces would position themselves to intercept missions that didn't exist, exposing their methods and locations while walking into carefully prepared traps. Operation Phantom Strike was designed as the ultimate test. Alexandra and Commander Morrison created a fictional mission that appeared authentic in every detail: target selection, planning documentation, personnel assignments, and operational timeline. If Sullivan was indeed the traitor, he would attempt to communicate these details to his handlers, and enemy forces would move to intercept a mission that was actually a coordinated ambush. Sullivan took the bait perfectly. Within hours of receiving the fictional briefing, he sent coded intelligence to his foreign contacts, providing detailed information about the non-existent operation. Enemy forces moved to intercept SEAL Team Delta at the specified location, instead encountering a coordinated ambush involving multiple American military units positioned based on Alexandra's intelligence analysis. The engagement was decisive. Enemy forces were eliminated or captured, their equipment and communication devices seized for analysis, and their operational methods thoroughly documented. More importantly, Sullivan's communications were monitored throughout the operation, providing irrefutable evidence of his treachery. Sullivan was arrested immediately after the team's return to base. The evidence against him was overwhelming. Recorded communications with foreign intelligence services, financial records showing payments from enemy sources laundered through sophisticated networks, and testimony from captured enemy personnel who identified him as their primary source within American Special Operations. The investigation revealed that Sullivan's motivation was a devastating combination of financial desperation and ideological corruption. He'd accumulated massive gambling debts that threatened his family's financial security, and foreign intelligence services had exploited this vulnerability to recruit him as a long-term asset. Over time, his cooperation had evolved from reluctant necessity to active collaboration with forces dedicated to killing American servicemen. The trial of Marcus Sullivan became one of the most significant military espionage cases in modern history. Alexandra's testimony was crucial in securing his conviction on charges of treason, espionage, and multiple counts of murder. Sullivan was sentenced to life imprisonment without possibility of parole. But for Alexandra, the case represented more than successful prosecution of a traitor. It demonstrated the vulnerability of even elite military units to infiltration by hostile intelligence services, and highlighted the critical importance of robust counterintelligence procedures. Following Sullivan's conviction, Alexandra was tasked with developing new security protocols for special operations forces. Her recommendations included enhanced background investigations, continuous monitoring of personnel communications, psychological evaluation programs, and improved financial oversight for military personnel with access to classified information. 6 months later, she received recognition that meant more than any medal or promotion. Commander Morrison called her personally to report that SEAL Team Delta had completed 42 consecutive operations without a single casualty attributable to intelligence compromise. "Major Kane," Morrison said, "your investigation didn't just catch a spy. It saved lives and restored our ability to operate effectively. The men of Team Delta can focus on their missions instead of wondering if someone in their own ranks is working for the enemy." Alexandra's work led to the implementation of the Guardian Protocol, a comprehensive security monitoring system that used advanced data analysis to identify potential threats before they could cause operational damage. The system protected individual privacy while providing commanders with early warning of personnel who might be vulnerable to foreign recruitment or already compromised by hostile intelligence services. More importantly, she developed the Trust and Verify training program, educating military personnel on recognizing and reporting potential security threats within their own units. The program emphasized that protecting operational security was everyone's responsibility, not just counterintelligence specialists. The training addressed the most difficult aspect of internal security, balancing trust and vigilance. Alexandra would tell military audiences, "Real trust isn't blind faith. Real trust is based on knowing that the people around you are committed to the same mission and values. Security measures don't undermine trust, they protect it by ensuring that trust is earned and maintained." 3 years after the Sullivan case, Alexandra was promoted to colonel and assigned to lead the newly created Special Operations Security Division. Her mission was developing comprehensive protection programs for American Special Operations Forces against both internal and external threats. During her tenure, the Guardian Protocol identified and resolved dozens of potential security threats before they could cause operational damage. Personnel experiencing financial difficulties received counseling and support to prevent them from becoming vulnerable to foreign recruitment. Those already in contact with hostile intelligence services were detected and neutralized before classified information could be compromised. The Sullivan case had begun as an investigation into suspicious casualty patterns. It evolved into a fundamental transformation of how American Special Operations Forces approached internal security. But the most important outcome wasn't institutional changes or security improvements. The most important outcome was that elite military units could operate with confidence that their teammates were worthy of the trust placed in them. Because in special operations, where success often depended on split-second decisions and perfect coordination, trust wasn't just important. It was literally a matter of life and death. Alexandra's career had been dedicated to ensuring that when American warriors put their lives on the line for their country, they could do so knowing that their own teammates weren't putting knives in their backs. In a profession where assumptions could be fatal, that was perhaps the most valuable service anyone could provide. The men and women of American Special Operations Forces deserved to know that their uniforms represented honor, loyalty, and sacrifice, not betrayal and corruption. Alexandra Kane had spent her career ensuring they could make that assumption with absolute confidence. Because sometimes the most important battles weren't fought against foreign enemies in distant lands. Sometimes they were fought against betrayal and corruption within your own ranks, where the consequences of failure were measured not in strategic setbacks, but in the lives of people who trusted you to keep them safe. If this story moved you, please hit that subscribe button and share it with others. Help us ensure these tales of dedication and justice reach the people who need to hear them. Thank you for watching Hidden Story. We'll see you in the next story, where another hero waits to be recognized.